Sheesh.
I'm not saying it's bad. Oh, we're live.
Oh, what's going on?
Welcome everyone to the ATV Cowboys podcast. I
Yeah,
spent
happy
way too
Friday,
much money
y'all.
online.
Guys, I was fortunate enough to introduce CD Piglet, aka Mike Crum, to Ice JJ Fish. If you know who that is, leave a comment here. But yeah, that was Mike's first taste of Ice JJ Fish, and I wish we would have been live because it was pretty great.
And I'm never gonna listen to him again. Props to getting that girl in the video though. I don't know how he could I'm doing this music video, and the minute she heard it, she had to have been like, "Nah, bro, this is not. No, that was not it right there."
Yes.
He's the Red Baron of singers, of R&B singers.
Oh, it's so bad, Mike. But
And
you can't
the
stop.
girl had to hear him once and been like, "Nah, dude, I'm not gonna be in this video." Literally, my movies on YouTube are better quality. I'm a better actor than he is a singer, and that is saying something.
I love those home movies, dude. Mike's Room. I watched that so many times when I first found it. I watched the one about the mask. He's probably my favorite, but Mike's Room's great. The one with the what is it, the pills or whatever?
Yeah, Jelly Bean Bliss. That's my favorite. I love Jelly Bean Bliss. Yeah, it's fun, man. Those are old school. I was writing Mike's Room 3, and then we were going to go up to the lake and start filming it. And, man, it's been so long since we did them. And then a couple people quit from the job, and I was working way too much, and we had to cancel the trip and everything. We weren't able to do it. So I'm like a third of the way into writing a new one. It's just so crazy because we're legit old.
Yeah.
And the jokes are just the same jokes. Dude. It's so stupid.
So you say Mike's Room 3. Is there a Mike's Room 2?
Okay, so the one that you saw, Mike's Room Dealing with Change, is actually the second.
Oh, okay.
We did a first one that was almost all improv that I didn't write a story for or anything. Yeah. We just kind of made up little skits and threw it together. But Muhammad doesn't really put that one online because it's just us fucking around more than a real movie, you know? And then the second one, we kind of came up with a story of, me stopping smoking and going back to work and how it affected everybody's lives and everything. So yeah, that one's is actually the second one that you saw. And then that's why I say the third.
So Mike, at the intro of Mike's Room Dealing with Change, are you actually pooping?
Am I what?
Are you actually pooping?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. That's the
There's a little added fart sound, but it sounds so realistic. But I'm like, is he pooping or is he not?
Muhammad is a great editor, dude. He adds in sounds, and it's crazy. In Jelly Bean Bliss, my whole character, I never speak. Yeah. My voice is not in the movie. Muhammad does the voiceover, and I just move my mouth to his inflection. And the way he edited that, it's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. We cannot act, and they're terrible, but I love those. I love them. I don't care. I know we have no skilled acting, but if that guy can be an R&B artist, then I can. I have 2 credits on IMDb, and I'm keeping. I feel better about them now than I did before I found out who Ice JJ Fish was.
Wait, you actually have credits on IMDb?
Yeah, 2 credits.
That's
directing,
awesome,
writing,
dude.
and 3 then directing. No, acting and writing. Muhammad has acting, writing, and directing. He has 3.
Very, very cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Mike's Room has so many funny moments in it, dude.
Oh, dude, the outtake stuff that we watch that's never been put out is better than the movies, dude. The outtakes are they're just there's some dirty ass weird shit in there. That's why it never gets dropped online, because it's a group of friends who drank and smoke and hung out together for so long that you could just say anything in front of each other. So when we're ad-libbing shit, it's I would never want anyone to ever hear the shit said in some of this. So yeah,
Get canceled real quick
those
with the
will
woke
not see the
mob.
light of day.
Yeah, I hear you, Mike. I love blooper reels.
Oh, the bloopers were, man, dude. I cry to this day watching. The stuff is just it's so funny. I'm gonna have to go back and watch those this weekend.
Please tell me that core of friends is still like, maybe not as tight as it once were, but still friends and still gets together at least once a year or so or whatever.
Bro, okay, so first of all, I work with Muhammad. He's the whole reason I'm back to work. So he's there. His wife is Steph. Mitchell is my brother. Kevin is Mitchell's best friend. Mikey is our friend who works down the street. I see him almost every day. The only one who is Richard Montoya, who is the guy in Made Me Kill. I know him on social media, but I don't like see him often. And other than that, I can't remember if Richard was in one or not. Other than that, I see all of them. Mitchell hangs out with Kudos a couple times a month. Mod is David from Jelly Bean Bliss is Muhammad's brother. He works in the same parking lot I do. They own the Wayback, and I'm down the street at the Daphne's in the same parking lot, though it's just a ways away. Yeah. So I see him a few times a month. Yeah, we're all still cool.
Very, very cool.
We've gone 6 minutes and not even mentioned Dallas.
Just real quick, Mike, who's the Hispanic guy that sings the Lionel Richie song?
Okay, that's Bubs. He's my roommate. He has a room in the house. I see him every day. And the funny thing is now he's completely sober.
Wow.
When he started in this house, when he started living here, it's because he was going through some harder stuff. And I told him, look, smoke all the pot and drink all you want. Don't do that other stuff. You can live here. So he got off of that. And then as he's lived here and gained religion and stuff, for his health, he kind of stopped drinking. And then for like religious to like cleanse his body, because you can see what a big dude he is. He got off of everything. So he's completely sober. Like when I was writing Mike's Room, I had to do something totally different with him because he was always like the biggest smoker of us all. And I have to rewrite it now to where he's not going to smoke in the movie. So it's such a trip to flip that, flip that character like that.
Very cool. All right, Mike, before we get into our Cowboys discussion tonight, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Mike, here we are with our first game preview of the year. And here we are, week 5. We're going to face off with the Los Angeles Rams. When you look at this Rams team, does the Rams offense or defense scare you more?
For me, I'm afraid of McVay. I just think when it comes to playing us, that guy's a genius.
Yes.
He kills us with his game planning for running. He knows how to run on us. Almost 300 yards in the playoff game, 150 yards last time we played him. And they didn't even have a good guy. It was like Malcolm Brown or some shit,
Yeah, guy off the couch.
Yeah, he knows how to control the game by running. He gets to 3rd and 4, and then with that short passing game and Cooper Kupp and them, I'm afraid that the pass rush isn't going to be able to get there. And he terrifies me. Like I'm seriously scarred by Sean McVay. We've never had coaches that good like we do with Dan Quinn now. So I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
We also didn't have a Micah Parsons, so a little different,
or Trayvon Diggs.
But he legit terrifies me. So for me, 100%, the offense scares me.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Mike. McVay, that's a solid answer. For me, I'll have to go with the defense only because of our quarterback, Cooper Rush. This is definitely going to be the best defense he's faced this season. And, I think it might be fair to say this is the best offense that this Dallas defense has faced this season. But, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, he's going to give Cooper Rush probably some looks he's never seen before. And, we don't know how he's going to handle that pressure. So I'm a little more worried about the Rams defense. But as a whole, we'll kind of get into it later. But this Rams team, I'm not really sure how I feel about them. Just kind of moving along just to kind of lead into that. Do you think that this game relies more on the Cowboys offense or defense?
Defense, because I need them to stop the run. If they stop the run, Rams are going to have trouble. Their offensive line isn't very good. I would push back and say the Bengals are the best offense we face because Rams' offensive line isn't any better. And as good as Cooper Kupp is, when you put Boyd and Higgins and Chase and Mixon and Hurst and Burrow, all of them together, man, considering both offensive lines are bad, the way they handled that offense, it's just the play caller. Man, McVay terrifies me. So if Dallas defense can contain the run and I'm not just saying like don't allow 150 yards, they can't allow the Rams to control the game through the run. Even if they only run for 90 yards, if they're able to run well enough to get third and shorts all the time and pick up first downs and wear us down and win time of possession and keep Matthew Stafford from getting into third and longs and stuff, that, that's controlling the game through the run. That's what worries me. So Dallas's defense, run defense especially, is going to be the key for me.
Do you think if this game got to a point where it's like 14-3, 10-3, even 10-0, that Cooper Rush could make a comeback, come back from double-digit deficit?
Yeah, they could. We have enough firepower and they're playing well enough and confident enough. What is it? The Giants got up by 7 and then boom, 17 straight.
But that's the Giants.
I don't think the Commanders ever got ahead, did they? A 7-6 maybe. They got ahead 7-6. I think
they scored. I don't remember them scoring a touchdown before we did, but that doesn't mean they didn't. I thought
we got 2 field goals and then they got a touchdown and then we just kind of went from there and but I could be wrong. But I do think they could. Now, if they got 2 touchdowns ahead, 14 points, I'd be a little worried about that because it's not just tying them. It's that you got to work that hard for our offense to tie them. Also, don't forget you got a Turpin and you got a turnover defense. So 14 points doesn't necessarily mean Cooper Rush got to score 2 touchdowns. Turpin gets a return or Diggs gets a pick 6. Now Cooper Rush only needs 1. So yeah, I think they could.
Yeah, I just again, I think about Cooper Rush, this being his biggest test of his career, going up against a guy like Sean McVay and the defense that the Rams have, like with Aaron Donald and those guys. It'll be interesting because even Jalen Ramsey, for as good as he is, he kind of feels like almost an afterthought in this defense.
Yeah, he's not been great this year. I was surprised at how Ramsey's played. He's been beat quite often. I think this is the type of game where he shows up though, because all the eyes always on Dallas, America's team, ratings wise. So this is a game where they could show up, and play up to their standards because they know all eyes are going to be on this game.
Right. You said something similar on Monday's podcast, Mike, where after kind of getting embarrassed on Monday night, that the Rams could kind of come up to play this game. Do you feel that the Cowboys defense could pull off what the 49ers did? I know there was a stat that came out that the 49ers and the Cowboys are the only teams in the NFL who have not given up 20 points so far this season.
Yeah, the thing about the Niners that they have that we don't, as far as matching up with the Rams, is their linebackers can cover. They're great, elite versus the run. Our linebackers are good, but they're not Niners. Like if Cooper Kupp gets lined up on Leighton Vander Esch and Anthony Barr a lot, we're gonna have trouble. Right. Where Greenlaw and Warner can they're going to give up catches. This is Cooper Kupp we're talking about, but they're not going to get killed by him. And in the run game, they're not going to get killed. So, I think we can hold them under 20, but not in the same way the Niners were. They need to, and I don't think the Rams will go at it with that game plan. I don't think they'll abandon the run versus Dallas. Niners are elite versus the run. We're not. We're bottom of the league versus the run. So I think the way we can do it is get them in third and long, and our pass rush can match what the Niners do. but I don't think down in, down out will match up with Cooper Kupp or stop their run the way the Niners are able to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm worried about Cooper Kupp. We'll talk a little bit about that here later. But do you think, we saw Jabril Cox playing on special teams? Could he be a key factor? Do you think that maybe Micah Parsons will be playing linebacker more to kind of contain Cooper Rush this week?
I think Curse is going to be linebacker quite often. I think that's going to be a game plan in his snaps. Maybe coming back, they limit his snaps. But when he's playing, it's going to be the time where he can erase a Higbee or he can help out in zones versus Cooper Kupp. Not that he can stop Cooper Kupp. That's asking a lot. You're asking, he's the best wide receiver in football, probably, arguably best, easily top 3. You're just trying to contain him. And that's where Curse, Wilson, I don't know if Jabril Cox will make it in there or not. Man, I'm excited. At some point this year, Jabril Cox and Damone Clark could be your linebackers along with Curse. My goodness, you want to talk about just guys that can cover and hit and run and just scary.
I couldn't believe that news about Damone Clark, man.
Oh, I thought he was out. The only single reason that man went in the 5th round is because everybody thought he was going to redshirt his first year.
Yeah.
If you told any other team, hey man, he's going to be practicing by week 5, he'd have been a 2nd round pick. Round pick.
3rd round at latest.
Yeah, late. And I'm telling you, if he was no injury, he'd have been back into the first top 40. I mean, he's enormous size enough to play middle linebacker, runs like a coverage guy, and he can come off the and rush the passer. Like, he is Micah-esque as far as he has the ability to do all 3 things, but he's a middle linebacker size instead of a outside linebacker size. So,
dude,
man, what a great steal in the 5th round to get that guy.
I know, dude. So what? And this year in this 5th round, we got Damone Clark, John Ridgeway, who I know is not on the team anymore. But was it Deron Bland? Was that also who we got, or was he?
Fresno State, baby, my spot.
Oh Lord, dude, what a nasty 5th round, bro.
I know, and I think Ridgeway is going to be a player too. He just got caught in a numbers game. We had too many DTs, and Bohanna well outplayed him. Most rookie DTs need a year, just like Bohanna did. And I think Ridgeway will be a good player for Washington, but he's going to need a year or so. So, yeah, I think the 5th round picks by Dallas were nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, didn't mean to get us off topic there, Mike, but, going back to this question here, can the Cowboys pull off what the 49ers defense did to the Rams? I think they can, only because our pass rush, we're going to get that here in a second, but against that offensive line, I think we can kind of force Stafford to make some mistakes and things like that. So let's just kind of get right into it. Our Stafford and his interceptions, the issue with the Rams offense this year.
The issue is the O-line. I mean, for one, they can't run, and for everything McVay is as a matchup pass guy, he running sets his stuff up. He knows the it's not that he runs the ball 25, 30 times. It's that they run efficiently typically under McVay, and it sets you up where you're not in 3rd and 10s a lot. So it's easy for Kupp and Woods and Higbee to pick up first downs on 3rd and 5 or less.
Right.
And that's how they keep going. They keep the drives going and then they score points. And the O-line's just bad. Like Whitford retired. They got a bunch of injuries, and they're just not able to run the ball so far this year. And then it gets you in 3rd and long, and they can't protect Matt Stafford. So I don't think Stafford's the issue. I think it's the O-line. But, I mean, his interceptions ain't helping anybody. Cooper Rush has not a great O-line either, but he's not giving the ball up. And I know, he threw 2 picks, but there were penalties. And one of them was like, hey, I know he got penalized, so I'm just going to throw it up because I know I got the flag. He got held. So, he's just – turnovers are an issue, but the O-line's the real, underlying issue.
Yeah, it starts and ends with the offensive line, Mike. A piece that, hasn't got going with the Rams offense is Allen Robinson, the off-season signing, who a lot of people were excited about, myself included, especially for fantasy purposes. It's been strange that, he's getting a lot of reps, he's on the field a lot, but he's just not getting the targets. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think it's a quarterback preference thing. If you look in Detroit, Kenny Galladay got open a lot. He was a big dude. He would beat you deep. He had, he goes to the Giants and he just doesn't work with Daniel Jones. This is a guy that's had like 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Yeah. And he can't even, he's like awful there. They just don't mesh. And I think so far what's happening is Stafford sees Cooper Kupp get open by 5 yards, sees Higbee open by 5 yards, saw Robert Woods last year when he played, Odell Beckham Jr., and he's just used to separation. That's not really how Allen Robinson plays. Allen Robinson's Anquan Bolden. Get you a yard of separation, but just throw it in there. I got it. And he makes the catch, and Stafford's been hesitant. It's a targets thing. It's not like the first week where Dak targeted him, Lamb 11 times at 2 catches. He's just not risking throwing to him because he doesn't see him as open the way he sees his other guys with separation being open.
Right.
And so that's, I think, is the key is he doesn't trust Robinson, and so he won't throw him the ball because he doesn't believe he's open enough.
Yeah, it's just strange because I don't ever, when I think about Allen Robinson, I don't think about him necessarily being physical. I always thought he was a good route runner, had good speed for his size. So, to think that he's not creating separation, that just seems strange. I'm not saying that you're wrong by saying that. It's just I would never think. I thought that would always be kind of a strength of his game.
He's always been a possession. He's like Bolden is the perfect example. Like Bolden was never open.
Yeah.
But if he got that big body in front of the guy, he was open. And you just got to throw it in there. Like the Bears guys were basically like, he's all I got. So I'm just going to throw it in there. If he has any room, if he's one-on-one, I'm giving him a shot. And Stafford's like, nah, dude, I'm going to wait for the guys that get open. Like Kupp gets open. So I think that's it. And I think they'll get used to each other as it goes. He's going to have to start trusting him, a little bit.
Dude, Anquan Bolden was such a beast, dude.
Love Ant. One of my all-time favorite receivers.
He was so nasty. He was such a perfect pairing with Larry Fitzgerald.
They were tough. Those guys playing them in Madden was a pain in the ass.
Oh, God. All right, Mike, we're talking about receivers here. You mentioned Jalen Ramsey. He's been kind of getting beat quite a bit this season, more than usual. When you look at the Cowboys receivers, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Noah Brown, who are you kind of hoping that lines up against Ramsey?
Well, if Noah Brown's an option, I want Noah Brown. I mean, for one, Ramsey's physical in the run game, and I can have Noah Brown block him. And he'll block every down. So that's awesome. And then if Ramsey's on Noah Brown, now I've got the guys that are hurt, the backups, and maybe Troy Hill if he's playing on CeeDee Lamb and Gallup. Now, I wasn't really playing it as in Noah Brown was an option.
Right.
I'm thinking like the big name guys. And I don't think it matters. I'll put him on Lamb. But Lamb can get open versus Jalen Ramsey, especially this year's version. I think you're going to see the best of Jalen Ramsey. I think it's going to be a tough game for whoever goes against him. But, I could see Lamb getting 5 catches on 8 or 9 targets, 60 yards, a couple of big first downs. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I'm not scared of either of those guys. Michael Gallup's beat him before, and they just called some weird ass penalty on him. He beat him to like at the end of a game in like a clutch situation. So
terrible call.
Oh, it was god awful. It was just a flop. But he's Jalen Ramsey. He's going to get those calls. So
yeah, and he knows when to flop.
I would say I'm not afraid of him against anybody. But hey, give me Noah Brown if it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, when you break it down like that, of course, if he's in there blocking, he's not covering. Of course, you'll take that matchup all day, every day. For me, I want to see him go up against Lamb. I want to see Lamb. That saying, iron sharpens iron. I know that Ramsey's kind of, not played as well as we've been accustomed to, but we're starting to see CeeDee Lamb take that next step, and this could be a good test for him to beat one of the better known cornerbacks in the league. Maybe put a little bit more respect on his name.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. I think Lamb's good enough to beat Jalen Ramsey, so I'm not worried about it.
When you look on the other side, of course, you talked about Cooper Rupp being possibly the best receiver in the game, definitely top three. But could you see McVay using Cooper Kupp as a mismatch against Trayvon Diggs, or do you see that Cooper Kupp being a mismatch against Trayvon Diggs?
It wouldn't. It's not the matchup I like for Diggs. He's not the type
Yeah,
of receiver. McVay's going to try to get Cup on linebackers. That's
yeah.
what he does. Um, if I'm Dallas, I want Diggs on Robinson. Let them throw those 50-50, no separation things, and I think I have a better guy going and getting the ball at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I want Diggs on Robinson. Just lock that down. If they try to target him, maybe you get an interception. Cooper Kupp, I'd like to bracket. Jordan Lewis sounds like he's going to play. Bracket him with a safety or a linebacker, and just if he catches 10 targets, make him 7 yards, 6 yards a catch, bring him down. Don't let him break something crazy. Keep everything underneath, and try to not let him kill you with third down conversion. So, yeah, I don't need Diggs on Cup. That's just it's not it's a style. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that Cooper Cup will kill Diggs.
Yeah,
I like Diggs shuts down Justin Jefferson when they played, and Justin
Jamar
Jefferson's a top
Chase.
3 wide receiver. It's
Yeah.
about how they match up. Cooper Cup's a different type of receiver. I don't really want that guy, that type of receiver, having Diggs cover him.
Yeah, I don't want to see it all game just because we know that McVay will find a way to get him open, and Cooper Kupp has the ability to take one to the house at any moment. But I would like to see him lined up maybe 50% of the time just to see the numbers, just to see how much Diggs has improved with those double moves and his coverage skills. So that's a matchup I'm kind of looking forward to because, again, like CeeDee Lamb, I feel like Trayvon Diggs is always being discredited for the progress he's made, for the numbers that he does put up. So if he can not necessarily shut down Cooper Kupp, because I'm not even sure that's possible, but limit him and keep him from 100 yards or keep him from a touchdown, I feel like people will be like, well, hey, maybe Trayvon Diggs is better than we thought.
If he could limit Cooper Kupp, that would be so impressive. Cooper Kupp is so good, and they're so good at getting him in space and everything.
Right. Yeah.
That would be about as impressive as you could possibly be. I don't think he could, and it's not a shot on Diggs. They just don't exist. Cooper Kupp's that good, and the way McVay uses him, it's just nearly impossible to put somebody on him and go, hey, shut this guy down. Like, it's a bracket thing. It's a allow a catch for 5 yards, but bring him down automatically thing. It's not a shutdown thing. Like, I expect Kupp to get 8 to 12 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown, because that's just who they run their offense through. And McVay's a genius, and they have a quarterback who can get him the ball.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about the O-line, Mike. When you look at Dallas's and the Rams' offensive line, who do you feel is worse?
Rams are worse. We got Zach Martin, so we got a Hall of Famer in there. Steele and Biotish are both average level offensive linemen. They get beat badly by good players, but for the most part, they're not killed every week.
Right.
The
They don't
left
have a
guard
Tyler
is an
Smith.
issue, mainly
Yeah.
because it's rotational. And I'll say a big thing about it, and I think it's because Rams are so used to having a good O-line, where Tyron Smith and them have been hurt so much and Lyle Collins been out, and so Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy are kind of used to playing with a poor offensive line. They do a better job of game planning. Like this last week, they knew Allen and Daron Payne will need help up the middle. So for the first time, I didn't see him really protect Tyler Smith. They were like, "All right, dude, you're one-on-one with Sweat, and you just got to survive it. Do your best, and we got to worry about these middle guys." And Tyler Smith did a good job. But before this game, they'd really protect him. They'd make sure that they weren't going to get killed by a rookie being out there, alone versus a dominant pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the game planning better so far for Dallas with the bad O-line. And I just think they have like Tyler Biadasz is better than what they have at center. And he's not great. He's an average center. Our right tackle, if No Boom was on his typical right side and they didn't swing him to left for Whitworth, No Boom would probably be better. But on the left side, he's not as good. So we have a right tackle that's a little bit better. Zach Martin, they don't have a Zach Martin. Like when they had Whitworth, they didn't have a Zach Martin, but he was at least close. So like we've got some pieces that are nice, and the first round rookie's playing really well. Best game last week. He was not in the run, but in pass protection, he was pretty damn decent, and he was left alone a lot. So, yeah, I like Arlo line better.
When you look at the Rams defensive line, do you think that they'll try to line up Aaron Donald more on Steele or on Tyler Smith?
I don't see why you don't line him up inside this game and just play him over McGovern. Like that, McGovern is coming off a high ankle sprain. Biadasz isn't anything special help-wise. I think they learned some things from the Niner game because Niners double-teamed them. They had their offensive line was young, like younger than McGovern and Biadasz. And they were able to double-team inside and kind of neutralize Donald as best as you can. So I think they might try and do some stuff to open up Donald this week, but I'm not moving him often. I'm just letting him play over McGovern and killing him. Allen killed whoever was left guard all game. So Aaron Donald's even better. So yeah, I'm just playing him right in a defensive tackle and letting him kill up the middle.
Yeah. I don't know much about the Rams offensive line. I didn't get a chance to do proper research, Mike, so forgive me. So, when it comes back to the question whose O-line is worse, it's definitely the Rams because I can't even name one person on their offensive line.
No Boom, I believe I'm saying that right. He was a very good right tackle for them last year. They moved him to left tackle to replace Whitworth, and he hasn't been very good. I think he gave up 8 pressures and 5 pressures in like the last 2 games or something. Like he's been pretty porous.
Yes, sir. You mentioned Connor McGovern getting the start this week because of the loss of Jason Peters. How big of a loss is that? I know we've had kind of a bit of a rotation there at left guard. So, do you think that'll be an impactful loss?
To be clear, McGovern was going to start either way. They're still ramping up Peters. He did not look good last week. Allen's going to do that to you. None of them looked good last week because Allen's a beast. None of them are going to look good this week because Donald's a beast. Yeah. But Peters looked pretty bad last week, and they had a 30-snap limit on him going into this week. He's like kind of going through a ramp-up period. Now, do I believe he might have came in and started versus the Eagles, like after another? I think that's very possible that his first start might have been the Eagles. Even if he didn't play every snap, I believe he would have played the majority of snaps versus Eagles. So the setback is more next week than it is this week because no matter who they put in versus Aaron Donald, he was going to get killed. Jason Peters is going to get killed by Aaron Donald. So is McGovern. If Farniok has to play there, so is Farniok. If Tyron Smith comes back and Tyler Smith moves inside, he's going to get killed too. The guy's just that good. And so is Allen. It's not a knock on the player. Allen's way better. Aaron Donald's way better. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's not many left guards in the league that aren't going to get killed by Aaron Donald, so it's not a slide on any of those guys.
Yeah, you got to double them every shit. Aaron Donald and them. Deron Payne was getting Zach Martin. Zach Martin's one of the best right guards of all time. Great players are going to get great players. It's just how it is.
Mike, the Cowboys have been on a roll. We're on a 3-game win streak here. Are you expecting us to lose or win this game?
I'm expecting them to lose. Few reasons why. One, McVay's never been under 500 5 games into the year. He's just a great coach. They have the better coach. And I'm a Mike McCarthy guy. You guys know that. I like Mike McCarthy more than I like Dan Quinn as a head coach. Dan Quinn as a coordinator is elite. But as a head coach, I don't think he's as proven as Mike McCarthy. And obviously, I think Sean Payton's better of the 3, and I would probably take McVay over him too. So they have that advantage. They also have the advantage of having better players like Matt Stafford. They have the better quarterback. Cooper Kupp, they have the best receiver. Aaron Donald, they have the best player. Jalen Ramsey, I'd take Diggs this year. I think Diggs has been better. But even then, if playing up to their capability over their careers so far since Diggs been in the league, Jalen Ramsey's been as good. I like the 11 interceptions. The whole yards thing, I think it's dumb to me. Because if I told you like, hey, Ramsey gave up 600 yards and Diggs gave up 300 more, but he had 9 more interceptions. Well, who the hell's not taking 9 interceptions over 300 yards? Like, you're an idiot.
It's just a Cowboys thing, man. It's a Cowboys player thing, dude.
It's a PFF made up stat. Like the last time I heard that stat was about a Tampa Bay rookie years ago, and somebody had to tell me it. I was like, when's the last time you heard of yards allowed? And they showed me this thing like 4 years ago about Vernon Hargreaves or something. And I was like, yeah, because nobody cares, because Dallas was wiping out the NFC East. And so then when you're up by 20 points, you stay back a little bit and you go, well, yeah, but all yards aren't like that. Yeah, but 300 of them could have been. And you know what the difference between him and Ramsey was? 300 yards. But he got 9 more interceptions. You know, so it's like the yards thing's dumb. It makes no sense. So that one's close, but I expect the Rams to play like champs. They were in the Super Bowl for a reason. They have the better quarterback. They have the best player. They have the better wide receiver. They have the better coach. And you know, we don't have our starting quarterback. Like, it is what it is. Like, do I think our defense could step up and win it? Oh, sure. This is a pick 'em game. But if you're making me pick, I'm picking the Rams, because I just think it's just the way when you step back on a year and you always look back on a schedule, you look and go, man, Dallas was out playing the Rams right here. I wonder what happened. Like if you narrow in on this game and how the teams are playing right here on this game, you go, well, Dallas is playing better. They're playing better defensively. Cooper Kupp's probably playing better than Matthew Stafford overall, and that's crazy. But he's not, giving games away. The O-line's playing better for Dallas. The defense playing better for Dallas. Diggs is playing better than Ramsey is. It's like, but when you kind of push back and take the game in the season in a momentum and a long thing, this just feels like a time where Dallas falls back a little. Everybody's like, oh, Cooper Rush, he should replace Dak. He's 3-0. And then you kind of run into the Rams and you lose something and you're like, okay, well, they didn't play bad. If they had Dak, they would have won, that kind of thing. And I think that's the type of game it's going to be.
Yeah, for me, Mike, I look at this game. I'm not necessarily expecting us to win. I'm not expecting us to lose either. I look at this Rams team, and they've been inconsistent all year. Their offense has looked good in spurts, not for an entire game. We saw them get embarrassed by the Niners on primetime. We saw them get embarrassed by the Bills on primetime. They almost got lost to the Falcons after being up by double-digit points. They almost I don't know if they've won a game like by double digits this season. So, I'm not really sure what to make of this game, but I'm definitely not expecting us to lose. I wouldn't be surprised if we did lose, kind of like you. And if we were to lose a game to a good team, I'd kind of want it to be at this point where we don't have Dak and maybe our defense kind of gets hit in the mouth, not necessarily where we just get embarrassed, but they kind of get a wake-up call like, okay, these are things that we need to fix and work on, and Dan Quinn kind of makes those adjustments throughout the season. But no, I'm not expecting us to lose this game. I feel like as a whole, our team is better than the Rams, and I feel like we've been playing better, on all three levels. But, we probably haven't played as good a teams as they have either. So that's something that people have to consider.
The outcome that would shock me is if Dallas won by 3 scores. That's the only Cooper Rush and stuff. I would have been like, whoa. But if like the Rams came out and won 31-17, I wouldn't be shocked. That wouldn't shock me. You have your backup quarterback in there. If they're able to run and play better in the red zone and they get up a couple scores, it could. Cooper Rush throws a pick, then something happens. Yeah. They end up winning 31-17. It would not shock me.
Do you think this is more of a statement game for the Rams or for the Cowboys?
I don't think you can have a statement game with your backup quarterback.
Oh, really? Okay. Not even for the defense?
I just don't. What's that?
Not even for the defense?
It could be, but man, what more? I mean, I guess if they shut down the Rams, especially running, it could be. But I think the statement game would be more Philly because the Rams are struggling so much imagine Dallas won. Let's say Dallas won 20-13, right? You wouldn't go in the next day and be like, "Oh my God," because you would be like, "Well, the Rams have been playing crappy on offense. Their O-line's not good enough. Dallas been dominating."
Right.
Yeah, of course Dallas shut them down like that. Like it wouldn't be a "oh my God" moment.
I got you. That's fair. I could kind of see that, like, last year when we had that discussion, did Dallas have any signature wins? And we didn't want to give them credit for the Carolina Panthers for their hot start, even though they were like the best team in the NFL and everything. We could kind of look back and be like, man, we beat the Rams 20-13, but it didn't really feel like a signature win or a statement win just because the Rams were still kind of working out the kinks on offense.
Yeah, it reminded me of the New England. We beat New England in New England, and then they ran off like a bunch straight. And then everybody was like, yeah, well, you beat them before they caught there. And I'm like, whatever.
Dak still has that record, so say what you will.
Yep. He destroyed Bill Belichick in New England. Crazy. And people want to start Cooper Rush over him.
Yeah, going right into it, Mike. I know not on this show. I'm sure when you saw the question on the show sheet, you rolled your eyes, you hated it. But, there's already some discussion. But let's just say this, Cooper Rush, he wins this game. There's going to be some whispers about a potential quarterback controversy, don't you think?
No.
Not for smart people, but, there's going to be that discussion, right?
Well, stupid people think the Earth's flat and there was no dinosaur. Y'all see Komodo dragons, right? Like dinosaurs exist now, crocodiles and alligators. And that. So do you want to know my favorite thing about Cooper Rush? And I may have said this in the last podcast. I don't know. My favorite thing about Dak getting injured in Cooper Rush is it's brought out what I call a stupidity test. The minute I see somebody say Cooper Rush over Dak, I just mute him. I don't react. I don't send anything. I don't message them back. I just go right to people I don't even follow. I just see Nick Herrera talking under their thing, or Dalton Miller, or Vach, or Jeff Kavanaugh. And they're talking back to guys like, guys, Dak Prescott is way better. They're not going to – I don't comment. I just go to the person who is like, nah, man, Cooper Rush better than Dak. And I just hit mute.
Oh, God.
And I
haven't seen anybody say that, but that's ridiculous.
Oh, I've muted, I'd say, in the last 3 weeks, 70 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
People who are Cowboys fans.
Yeah. Cowboys fans. Stupidity test.
Good God.
I unfollowed, I'd say, 30. Just because when you follow them, you can't really mute them because you're following them. Mm-hmm. So I unfollowed them and muted them because I was like, I don't need to engage with that. That's stupid. It's a great stupidity test. That's the one good thing I've gotten out of this is I've lowered the stupid Cowboys fans quota in my Twitter follows.
I will never for the life of me understand why somebody who's a Cowboys fan or claims to be would want your franchise quarterback who's making $40 million a year, which you don't agree with, to fail. This will never make sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of it, some of them are, race, which makes me laugh because Tony Romo is not white.
Right.
Which is the funniest thing because then you tell them and they're like, wait a minute, what?
His first name was Antonio, guys.
Antonio, yeah. He's Hispanic, guys. Sorry to tell you.
All right, Mike, here we are, end of the show here. Score prediction, what do you got?
I got 19-17 Rams. I think we hold it close. The defense plays good, but McVay is able to run, control the clock, get off the ball on third downs. I wrestled with them getting 20 points, like do something like 26-20. But I just think it might be a lot of punts. A lot of like R17 could be a Turpin punt return. And we get like one touchdown, one field goal. I also am terrified that we're going to miss it in practice today with the new long snapper. or yesterday, Maher missed like 3 kicks in practice. And people
Whoa.
don't understand human beings, guys.
Right.
They're human beings, and the ball doesn't spin the same. The snap comes out higher or lower. The holder has to rotate the ball a different way because the long snapper hikes it to him different. Like all that little minutia throws the quarterback or the kicker off. It just does. And Maher has been money. Then in practice, the first practice with this guy misses 3 field goals. Like, it is what it is. So I could see them missing a field goal or an extra point. The Rams doing just enough. Maybe they get up, 19 to 7, and then Dallas comes back in the second half, scores 10 points, but doesn't. The defense holds the Rams, but the Rams are just kind of, hey, hold the ball, don't turn the ball over. Their offense isn't going to score enough against us, and they end up winning 17-19.
Yeah, you said a score earlier that I liked, but I'll make a little adjustment. I think it's going to be 2017. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm going to go homer on you, Mike.
No, I mean, they totally – it wouldn't – this is as 50-50 game as you could get. It's a lot of my belief in Sean McVay, and he's been bad this year, really bad. I get it. I just think this is one of those games, marquee Cowboys – 1-3 straight with Cooper Rush. Literally everybody's picking Dallas. I watch all the shows. Everyone is picking Dallas. And I believe it was Nick Herrera again who put on Twitter this is everybody's over elevating Dallas right now because they've been kind of not a full week story. Like, they want Dallas back in the news bad, like as contenders, as one. So if you really oh my God, they're beating everybody. They're going to beat the Rams. They're 3-0. They're back in it. If Dak comes back, they could be Super Bowl. That was Ryan Clark's thing on Twitter or something. I saw somebody commenting on it. And the thing is all it is a setup, guys. They're just, if the Rams beat them, even my score, 19-17, a close game, they kick a field goal at the end. The whole week will be look at how they let you down. Well, just when you thought that Dallas's defense was great. And what happened? Matt Stafford took him down to beat him with a field goal at the end.
Same old Cowboys.
What's that?
Same old Cowboys.
Yeah, it's all just a setup right now. But the Rams are still going to hear everybody picking Dallas, and they're going to be like, y'all are the Super Bowl champs, and they're picking the backup quarterback team over you. And it's just going to be one of those weeks. I think Rams are going to get a W.
We won't discuss it tonight, Mike, but I am kind of curious with as good as our defense is and Dak coming back healthy, and then, our offensive line finally kind of gelling with Peters and seeing Tyler Smith being better right out of the gate than, probably most people thought. I do kind of wonder how good this team might be towards the end of the year.
I got to see him be better versus the run, because that's what's got you. The whole Dak era from 2016 on, it's always been about the defense being inefficient, stopping the run. The Rams got them for this last year with the Niners. Teams control the game, the flow of the game through running the ball consistently. It allows them to pick up third downs. It cuts down our possessions. It wears down our defense. And then they end up beating us in close games. And, I got to see them be better. You can't be 27th versus the run. Most explosive plays allowed, worst explosive play percentage, and think that I'm just going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll be good. Like, no, dude, I got to see him be better versus the run.
Well, Mike, so that's a conversation for another day. But as always, I enjoyed tonight's discussion. Before we get out of here, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter.
I'm at underanhour.com. Yes, look at us.
Yes,
at CD Piglet, guys. Letter C, letter D, Piglet.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.